Hello, this is Jo from Maths Tutor Me. Today we're doing percentages and ratios, and we've come to the end of our topic and we're doing revision questions today. So this is just a mixture of questions from what we've done throughout this topic. You could just pause this video straight from the start, try all of the questions, and then restart to check how you've gone. Or if you feel like you need a little bit of extra help, you can work through these questions with me. So let's get started. Question 1. Let's write 64% as a simplified fraction. Well, a percentage can be written as a fraction by dividing by 100. So that's 64 over 100. Okay, but we want it to be simplified as much as possible, which means we want to divide this down as much as we can. Well, I could halve the top number to get 32 over 50. I could even halve that again and get 16 over 25. Okay, it's not going to simplify any further than that, so that is my most simplified answer. You can do the simplifying in your calculator, so we could get our fraction button here and put in 64 over 100, and it gives me 16 over 25. For question 2, we want to convert 328% to a decimal. To change a percentage to a decimal, we need to divide by 100. We can do that by doing it as a fraction, but because we want a decimal, we just want to move the decimal place. So the decimal place would be here at the end, and I would need to jump back 2 places, 1, 2, putting it after the 3 to be 3.28 as a decimal. Question 3, change 120% to a mixed numeral fraction. So percentage to a fraction, we want to divide by 100. First of all, let's simplify the fraction. I could divide by 10, get rid of that. And then I could halve top and bottom, which would give me 6 over 5. Then to change that into a mixed numeral, I need to work out how many times 5 goes into 6. Well, it goes once, and there would be a remainder of 1, which we put over our same denominator of 5. Question 4. Convert 17 over 25 into a percentage. To change a fraction into a percentage, we must multiply by 100. So there's my fraction. I multiply by 100. We could do this with the calculator or without the calculator. Perhaps I'll show you how to do it without first by putting this over 100. The 25 and the 100 I can divide by 25, giving me a 1 and a 4. And so then I just need to multiply the 4 with the 17, which would give me 68%. Okay, so if you didn't want to do that without a calculator, you would simply type in your fraction, 17 over 25, multiplied by 100, and there's the 68%. Question 5, convert 0.7 to a percentage. This is a decimal. To make it a percentage, we multiply by 100. That means I jump the decimal place 2 places to the right. So one jump would be over the 7. For the second jump, I'll need to add a 0 to be 70%. Question 6, without using a calculator, express 31 as a percentage of 50. So I can write 31 and out of 50 as a fraction. To make it a percentage, I need to multiply by 100. This time it says I'm not allowed to use the calculator, so I need to do the method of putting this over 1 and seeing what I can cancel. The 50 and the 100, I can divide by 50 to get a 1 here and a 2 there. Then multiply the top together. 31 times 2, 2 lots of 31 is 62. On the bottom, I just have 1 times 1, so that there's nothing really there, just a 1. So it's going to be 62%. Question 7. Use a calculator this time to find 42 as a percentage of 65. Correct to 1 decimal place. So if you got 42 out of 65, you'd write it as a fraction. Then to make it a percentage, we multiply by 100. But this one's not so easy to do without a calculator. So here we go. 42 over 65 times 100. And it said to one decimal place is 64.6%. Question 8. Without a calculator, find 20% of 140. Well, 20%, we probably can't do straight away, but I could do 10%. 10% is just taking a 0 off your number. So 10% would be equal to 14. If I want 20%, that means I would need to double 10%. So 2 lots of 14 would be 28. So 28 is 20% of 140. Question 9, use a calculator to find 73% of 480, correct to the nearest whole number. So 73%, we can write as 73 over 100. Of means times by 480. Okay, so we're going to use the calculator to do this, and we want to round it to the nearest whole number. 73 over 100 times by 480. The nearest whole number, because it's a 0.4, we would round that down to be 350. Okay, so a few more questions on this second page. If 30% of an amount is 540, find the whole amount. Okay, so this amount here represents 30%. So what I need to do is take that amount and divide it by 30%, because that would tell me what 1% is. And then to find the full amount, the full 100%, I would multiply that by 100. Okay, so we can use our calculator for this. In the calculator, 540 divided by the 30 times 100. So that's 1,800. Question 11. In a blueberry chocolate chip muffin, James found 12 chocolate chips and 8 blueberries. Write the ratio of chocolate chips to blueberries. Well, the chocolate chips, there was 12 and there was 8 blueberries. Okay, in part B, it says to simplify the ratio. Both of those numbers there can be divided by 4, which would give me 3 to 2 as a simplified ratio. Question 12, we want to simplify the ratio 18 to 42. So we want to see what we can divide both of those numbers by. Perhaps let's divide by 6. 18 divided by 6 is 3, and 42 divided by 6 is 7. Remember, you can check by typing in the ratio as a fraction. Say 3 over 7. Question 13, complete the equivalent ratios. My first ratio is 7 to 3. I need to find an equivalent ratio that has a 15 as the second number. So looking at the 3, what do I do to get 15? I times by 5. So times the 7 by 5, and this number here is 35. In the second equivalent ratio, the first number is now 70. To get from 7 to 70, we need to multiply by 10. So multiply 3 by 10, and we get 30. And finally, question 14. Simplify the ratio 3 hours to 80 minutes. Let's write both of those in minutes, with minutes as the unit. So 3 hours there's 60 minutes in each hour. So that means it's going to be 180 minutes in 3 hours to 80 minutes. Well, let's first of all, to simplify, we can divide by 10, get rid of that. Maybe we could now divide by 2 to get 9 to 4. And there's our simplified ratio. Okay, that's it for our revision activities today. Keep practicing. I'll see you next time.